What is up, YouTube? It is Doc here, Docky Style Gaming, and I am back at it again with another Godfall video for you all today. And in this video, we are going to be breaking down all of the key features in depth now that I got a bit of hands-on with a few of them, so we can show you and go over everything that actually came with Primal Update. We're going to be taking a look at Towers of Trials 2.0, Dreamstones 2.0, some of the Primal items, Ascension levels, the powers that you can unlock with them as well, and the vendor also. So without wasting any more y'all's time, like always, let's actually hop straight into this info. So starting first, let's touch on something that I actually played the most of, which was Dreamstones. Dreamstones by far is, I think, in the best place it could potentially be in terms of farming gear and constantly coming back to play it over and over and over again. Pretty much you can kind of just sit in Dreamstones if you know how to manage it properly. But let's actually go over in the developer notes what all Dreamstones 2.0 has to actually offer and the changes that came to Dreamstones with it as well. So coming straight from the developer's notes, it says, for our revamped Dreamstones, we wanted to give you more control over the loot that you're earning, to introduce more variety in the Dreamstones that you play, and to reduce your frustration around Electrum costs, which is something that I am very happy that they changed. Speaking of Electrum, for all Exalted Dreamstones, nothing goes higher than 15,000 Electrum. Previously, it was up to 30,000 Electrum to just enter the Dreamstone, but now they all cap out at 15,000 to enter it, and all of your rewards that you get from it, mainly the final boss fight, will give you more than 15,000 now, so you'll at least get more than you even put in to unlock that Dreamstone. Some other things that came to Dreamstones 2.0 is that there are no longer boss modifiers, which is nice because of how things have changed. And then also when it comes to bosses, it says you can challenge the final boss at any round, but keep in mind when you beat the final boss, you do in that Dreamstone, which is something you might not want to do right away, and let's get into why. So some of the major changes that came to Dreamstones is this new concept of stability and lucidity. Essentially, you can keep running Dreamstones as long as your stability stays above 0, meaning you can kind of have infinite rounds of Dreamstones. Now, I won't guarantee if it's in fact infinite, but you can have a pretty nice long Dreamstone run, farming loot, resources, and Electrum like crazy. Now, stability is the purple icon in text, and that's essentially what you earn every time you complete an objective. Now, each boss fight does reduce stability, but if you complete all of your objectives, you'll earn even more stability as well. So it's kind of like a tug of war, either complete objectives to earn stability, or if you don't complete objectives, once you beat the boss, you'll lose stability, meaning you'll essentially complete your Dreamstone faster. So if you want to truly have your infinite runs, now objectives actually matter in Dreamstones, because the more objectives you complete, the more stability you earn, and that means the longer your Dreamstone runs are. Now, similar to stability, you also earn a new type of resource called lucidity, which can be earned from completing objectives as well. Now, these go towards your dream shaping type of rewards, but essentially it lets you modify and dictate the type of items and loot that you want to unlock in Dreamstones. Now, I've been messing around with this all day, and you can literally get it to the point, if you're playing long enough, to where you can get multiple legendary items from your final boss of Dreamstones because of lucidity. So I think this is a dope mechanic to not only let you pick and choose the type of loots you want for your specific builds, but also rewards players that want to stay in Dreamstones a pretty long time. So overall, I think Dreamstones 2.0 is a vast improvement to what it was, and now gives players a reason to consistently want to run through Dreamstones. Only issue I've encountered, and I'm sure it's probably because of the Ascension levels that were added into the game, it seems like the difficulty of everything was ramped up, and some of those harder Dreamstones are definitely hard to beat solo, so you might want some friends to go in there and do some of those higher level gauntlets or macros boss fights, because I'm pretty sure he got a new ability that wasn't one of his main ones, and it's pretty annoying. Now let's move over to Towers of Trials 2.0, and I messed with this for a little bit just because I know how I get when I play Towers and I don't want to stop, so I briefly messed around with this. But some of the more important things to come from Towers of Trials 2.0 are now we have new rooms in Trials, which is great because it was like the same two over and over, but now they added a triple control point area, triple leader, end bosses, and mixed tribes in terms of different rooms that you can get on top of the ones that were are already in there. And then also they added the new Bane system. After every third trial, players must choose a Bane. Now Banes are negative effects that hinder all players in the party. Banes provide a loot bonus, increasing the loot generated by the enemies in the chest as well. So the harder the Bane, the better the loot. Now some other stuff that was added to Towers of Trials are new Prime enemies, which are pretty much more powerful versions of older ones, but their key abilities are definitely stronger and they will drop additional loot when they're defeated. There's also new Towers of Trials boons, which are nice, and then also there's a boon upgrade rooms, where players can now upgrade their boons that they have. Now some other things that were improved with this update for Towers of Trials are key rewards have been significantly increased, higher rarity doors are more likely to spawn, which is great, and then difficulty and rewards now scale much more quickly as the players ascend. So Towers of Trials is definitely a lot more challenging than it was before, but that is because primarily on the Ascended Towers of Trials, there's now 30 trials compared to the previous 100. So those are the new revamps to some of the older systems in the game that I personally think are great. Similar to like I said about Dreamstones, the upgrades to Towers of Trials now make Towers of Trials a lot more fun, enjoyable, and even more challenging, which is perfectly fine with a game that's all about getting your builds right. I am 100% happy with the way Towers of Trials is from what little I did get to play. Next, let's talk about the Xenu vendor because it's pretty simple and straightforward, but when you get into your 7th Sanctum, Xenu will now be offering a shop. He'll have different rewards and items and loot that you can get from weapons, life stones, banners, and things like that just by using resources you've already collected like Electrum, Jasper, Crystalline Tears, Etheric, Filaments, and things like that. So it's pretty nice that you'll be able to get that, and the shop will refresh whenever you complete a story mission or whenever you defeat a final boss in Dreamstone. So you can essentially get this to refresh a lot if you're looking for very specific loot in the shop. But speaking of loot, there is some things that you can't get from the shop. It states that you can't get dual primaries or the brand new primal items in this shop. Those must be earned through playing the Ascended Towers of Trials, which makes sense. Those are supposed to be some of your higher level in-game loot items, so it would make sense that you couldn't just consistently refresh the vendor until you got some of those higher level, more rare items in game. And since we're on the topic of primal items, like I just stated, those can be found in the Ascended Towers of Trials, and essentially the primary traits on primal items are 50% stronger than their non-primal counterparts. It says primal items can only be found inside locked chests in the Ascended Towers of Trials, and the primal items have the following rarity drop rates. It says uncommon is 5%, rare is 10%, epic is 35%, and legendary is 50%. But primal items are not all that's being added to increase your level in this game. Now, once you've hit your level cap, you'll be able to access your Ascension levels. The developer's notes say Ascension levels, after you've reached your level cap, gaining experience allows you to reach up to 450 Ascension levels. Reaching new Ascension levels allow you to unlock new Ascension bonuses and brand new powers and traits that you can apply to all of your Valorplate. So on top of your huge skill tree that is very customizable, now you'll have a pretty big array of customizable bonuses and Ascension powers that you can customize on your builds. And if I'm being real, I feel like this is leading towards potentially something we might be seeing come the first paid expansion. I feel like we're getting a lot stronger for a certain reason, and I don't think it's just for this update. Something may be coming in the future that we might want to get powered up for. So if you haven't been grinding your Ascension levels, you might want to now and might want to get your builds in ready for when the first paid DLC drops. But essentially, similar to leveling up with your Ascension bonuses, you gain a point every time you reach a new Ascension level, and you can spend those on your Ascension bonuses that can improve your stats and your skills. Now, Ascension powers are unlocked after every 25 Ascension levels. And then similar to your skill tree, you can fully recustomize and remap the way you want your skill points and traits in your Ascension levels. So again, this just adds another depth of player customization in terms of build variety and Godfall. I already thought it was massive, but my god, this is about to be a numbers game, which isn't a bad thing. It's just so much more than I was expecting. But that is pretty much it when it comes to breaking down all of the new stuff that just came in the update. Again, this is a free update, so anybody who has Godfall on PC or PS5, all you have to do is update your game and you will get all of this new content, these new overhauls on Towers of Trials and Dreamstones, the new Ascension levels, bonuses and your powers, the new Primal item stats that have come in game, and your vendor as well. So if you haven't played Godfall today or even haven't played in a while, I highly suggest you hop on now, because you're probably not going to want to be left behind when it comes to leveling up for the first DLC. So that's pretty much all I got to cover in this video. Let me know what you think about the update that we just got. Have you been playing and have you enjoyed it? Have you got any Primal items yet? I have not, and yes, I will be grinding non-stop. And like I always say, if you haven't joined the Discord, definitely be sure to. There's always people playing Godfall, commenting, giving advice on different builds, things like that. If you're looking for a group to join up with this new update being out, there's consistently people playing right now, so links to the Discord will be in the video description as well, along with links to my social media accounts, so be sure to follow those if you haven't. That's all I really got for this video. Thank you all for watching. Thanks for the love. Thanks for the subs. Peace.